I'm in a mood. I'm in a mood. I'm in a mood. So usually when I'm in a mood, that means I dig out the 44 Magnum. How's that, Aaron? Well, good morning. My name is Tom. I come to you from the great state of Maine. Welcome to my shop this morning. I'm in a mood. I'm in a mood. I'm in a mood. So usually when I'm in a mood, that means I dig out the 44 Magnum. I wake up my neighbors. I wake up the woods. And then I just plain have a better day. And besides that, I've got a subscriber from Australia. His name is Aaron. He's a part of the Patreon channel. He's also part of this channel, been a part of this channel for a long time. And he just loves it when I dig out the 44 Magnum and shoot it. Because in Australia, they are not allowed to have guns like we are. He's told me some of the restrictions. It's pretty bad. Pretty bad. Compared to what we're used to anyways. How's that, Aaron? Oh, it doesn't get any better than that, Aaron. Step out your back door and shoot the gun a few times. Oh, for the rest of you that just want a cup of coffee, here we go. Like I told you, I was in a mood. What am I in the mood for? Well, I don't want to go down this road very far. But I was watching the television and I see where they took another shot, tried to take another shot at Donald Trump, tried to kill him. And I cannot believe that we live in a country now where the current administration in the White House doesn't take this serious. I just, I've lived through a lot of elections. And it never was this way. It never was this way. So, to have somebody try to shoot him back in July, and they still haven't learned their lesson. Now a guy got in there with a rifle within shooting distance. Just blows me out of the water. So anyway, that's about all I want to say on that topic. But the other thing is, you see, I picked up a tractor. We've been talking about it now for a couple of days. I've got the seat off it right now. I'll be working on the seat today. It was froze up and wouldn't move. It wouldn't move forward and wouldn't move backwards. Well, this is a great tractor for the family, so I want to be able to, want my wife to be able to operate it. And I also, because we're going to put a snowblower on the back of it, stuff like that. And then I want the grandsons and my daughter and her husband to be able to operate it as time goes on. So I'll be working on that seat today, getting that taken care of. Trying to wrap up as many projects as I can, because hunting season is right around the corner. And I have got a busy schedule here. My plan is this week to get into Beaver Creek, get that place opened up. I was supposed to do that last week. Things didn't go as planned last week either, so still trying to get myself in there, get that place opened up. I got a feeling my nephew, he might be ready for a trip, so maybe I'll drag him in there. we'll open her up together and spend a couple of nights. But trying to get down here before it gets too hot. I can't believe that we've got another hot spell this week. Last week was cool, comfortable every single day, just great weather. And now today, I threw on some green this morning for you guys that may. And not only that, who can shoot a 44 Magnum in all them colorful shirts? But it is too warm to wear in this flannel. But I am so anxious for the fall temperatures that's not a problem. That's not a problem. Fall is, it's just knocking on our doors now. So time to get in and get some stuff done before the hunting season rolls around. Because I got high hopes. I got high hopes just like every year. So, but I was in a mood, so I had to drag out that 44 Magnum. But crazy time we find ourselves living in, I'll tell you. If you would have mentioned this to me 40 years ago, we were living through the 80s, and that was a great time. Boy, I would, let's talk, why the older equipment? If you get back in time just a little ways, this right here is a 1987 Case 255. There are no electronics on this tractor at all. Everything is gear driven. The transmission, the PTO, there's nothing spectacular about this at all, which makes it perfect for the homesteader or off-grid person. If you are looking to become that kind of person, an outdoorsman with a piece of equipment, this is what you should be looking for. Because it's easy to work on. You do not have to be a mechanic to figure out this equipment before electronics. You don't need any fancy tools to figure things out. You can grab a whole bunch of common sense and go at it, because that's how they were made to be worked on. Especially what I'm finding with this tractor, everything is out in the open. I moved the fuel filter yesterday because the other guy put one on under the cowling part of the instrument panel. I moved that yesterday or 2 days ago so that I could. It was 2 days ago. I moved it 2 days ago so I could get to that a little easier. The fuel filter's right on the side of the motor. Now the oil filter's on the side of the motor. Everything is exposed where you can actually get to it. So it just makes it a great tractor to work on. And if you're new to homesteading, you find your piece of equipment, and the very first thing you do is you order the repair manual. Order 2 books. Well, actually, it's 3. They come with 3 books, and you kind of need the first book is let's see. It's kind of that's right, the operator's manual. That goes through absolutely everything. Your oil changes, your everything, your filters, all your times when you should be doing maintenance. It tells you every single lever that's on the tractor, how it works, what it does. And then you want your repair manual. You want the actual repair manual that they would use in the garage where they maintain these things. And that'll break down the entire tractor, nuts and bolts. You can figure out anything with that repair manual. And then on top of that, you're going to need the parts manual. Now the parts manual will break everything down into diagrams. You'll have the part name and you'll also have the part number. So if you get them 3 books with a tractor that's before the electronics, I'm telling you, you can work on it. And it doesn't take a you don't need to go to college for it. These were made to be worked on, whether it is a diesel or whether it is a gasoline engine. You know, you got to remember one thing about motors. They need fuel, they need air, and they need spark. Now, it's a different kind of spark in a diesel motor than what's in a gas motor, but it still operates the exact same way. So if you have a breakdown, what's the first thing you want to check? And it needs electricity. This one needs a lot of electricity because it's a diesel motor. And how a diesel motor works, pistons go around, squash the fuel mixture until it explodes. So it needs a little bit extra power compared to a gasoline engine, where a gasoline engine only needs a little bit, just enough to get the motor to turn over, spark the spark plug, and the fuel mixture explodes, and the engine starts, and away you go. So there's a little bit of difference there, but they both work on the same principle. So the first thing you want to check is, do you have fuel? You know, look in the gas tank. Got any fuel? This is diesel. Look in. You got any fuel? Then follow it down from there. On this one, you have to go fuel filter through the lines up to where the oh shoot, don't matter. Oh, up to where the lost my train of thought. You know what that generally means? Let's have a sip of coffee. Oh, it's right on the end of my tongue. Maybe it'll help if I look at it. Nope. Cut all this out. Fuel injectors. So you're gonna start at the tank. If okay, we pull up, it's not starting. If you pull up to this tractor in the morning and it's not starting, check your battery. Now I have a little $9 tester for checking the battery. It'll tell you if it's got, you want over 12 volts, 13 volts at the battery. If you've got that, okay, so now we know we have electricity. So that's not going to be our issue. Second, let's start checking the fuel. Start the fuel tank. Number one, most of the time, make sure the fuel valve is turned on. Easy, easy, easy to forget that on most equipment. It's usually mounted right underneath the tank. Make sure your fuel's on. That's the biggest thing that I forget. Check, now this one I put in a see-through fuel filter. So I want those, but that way I can look at my fuel filter and the fuel is in there. It's got the right color. Everything's great. Then you come up. Now on a diesel, if you run out of fuel, you're going to need to, if air gets in there, you're going to need to crack the system. Now that sounds a little complicated, but it's really not. One wrench. This is a 3-cylinder. Follow the fuel line up. Right next to the fuel injectors, there's a nut. You're just going to loosen that nut. You're going to turn the motor over. Put the throttle all the way down so it doesn't start. You're going to turn the motor over until fuel spits out of that nut. And when it's spitting out of that nut with no air, tighten it back up. That's what's called cracking the fuel line. Sounds complicated, it's not. Move down to the next piston, do the exact same thing. There's 3 nuts, 3 lines. They all have to be cracked. And it won't start. If it's got air in the line, it will not start. So that's crack the fuel. Now when all that fuel's coming out, now you know there is fuel going to your fuel injectors, and voila, so the tractor should start. If any one of those things isn't right, air in the line's not going to start. Fuel injector's not working right, not going to start. But at least you know that you got fuel to the fuel injector. So now you've narrowed it down. Okay, I'm still not getting any fuel, not getting any fire. So now is a pretty good time to start thinking about them fuel injectors, and that's the one. That's the problem. In the winter time, it'll be your glow plugs. This particular tractor has 3 glow plugs on them. They're not expensive. They're very easy to change. Why not have a good set-in going into the winter is the way I look at it. It's like getting ready to cut firewood with a chainsaw. It's a lot nicer with a nice sharp chain Well, same thing with glow plugs in the wintertime. Have your glow plugs, have them in good shape. They're easy to test. Make sure they're working. Take a positive lead off the battery, hook it to the end of the glow plug, and then set the glow plug on a ground somewhere. And within 30 seconds, that thing will be cherry red and smoke coming off it, and that means that glow plug is perfect. So again, go through all 3 glow plugs, do the same thing, make sure they've all got they all turn cherry red, and that means your glow plug's good. So that's what I mean by this particular motor. There's very simple things to do to work on it, to getting it running. And that's what we did with this tractor. You all have seen the story now, how I purchased this tractor. I purchased this as an unrunning diesel motor. And everybody on that end where I bought it from, everybody was leaning on that the motor needed to be rebuilt. And if it did, no problem. Mitsubishi, been out there a lot. Easy to get parts for it. But I was going, I hope it doesn't need a motor rebuild. I'm hoping it's something simple. It turned out to be something extremely simple. Bad grounds leading from the battery all the way to the starter. So on a diesel motor, any experience I've had, the first place you check is grounds. I used to own a 16-foot box truck with a diesel motor in it. And the only time it ever broke down was twice, and both times was a bad ground coming from the battery. And I drove that truck for years and years and years. So, but that'll wrap this one up. I know we've covered a whole bunch of stuff right here, but this is all part of my lifestyle and my camp lifestyle. So, if you don't think this has something to do with being a woodsman, I beg to differ with you, and you're barking up the wrong tree, and you're wrong. So, my plan with this is to get a snowblower and then a box plow for the back of it. And that way I can use it for cleaning up the trails into Beaver Creek Deer Camp. We have a 4-wheeler trail goes in there, and I'll be able to scuff up a trail once in a while and make it a little bit better each year. So that's the deal. That's the deal. So I'm going to get to work. You guys have a great day. I will probably bring that 44 out again and shoot it a few more times while I'm down here working. So anyways, have a cup of coffee on your way out, and I will see you next week.